Hey guys, welcome to Salzburg and welcome to Austria. And we're here today because we finally have a chance to film and show you the new BMW M5. There were plenty of leaks in the past, plenty of prototypes spotted on the road. We've done a bunch of photoshops, but now we can finally show you the real car. I've seen it in the past, but now it's time to take another look at this car. So let's start with the design of the car, the proportions, the size, because that's the most important thing. So clearly, as you can see immediately, it is based on the new 5 Series generation, particularly on the i5 M60, because the front end, similar to that, of course, with the additional M bits. Let's start with the headlights. Of course, same headlights, no laser lights, so you're getting these LED accents inside. Of course, the lower part of the car is completely different. It's more aggressive. You have this, I call this Frankenstein kind of design because you have all these lines running across, they intersect, but they give the car a very bold look from the front, even though you might see only the rear as you drive on the Autobahn, for example. You're getting illuminated Kino grille, and of course this motorsport-inspired Kino grille, I always call that because you have these nice openings there, horizontal, and it looks quite cool. Now let's talk about the size of the car. It's about 11 centimeters longer than the F90 M5. It's also about 7 centimeters wider than that car and just about 3.5 centimeters taller, and that's because of the plug-in hybrid drivetrain and the battery pack and all of that, and we'll talk about those specs in a second. Design-wise, of course, once again, similar to the i5 M60, with a single line running across here, the character line, the Ziegler line, which kind of splits the car into lowers visually the car to give it a better stance on the road. You have this rocker panel on the bottom. You've seen it on the X7 and other BMW cars in the recent memory. Of course, flush door handles, another staple of newer cars right now, so no surprise there as well. Now let's talk about some more M elements. You have the carbon fiber mirror caps, which are part of the carbon fiber package, which also includes the carbon fiber roof and the spoiler in the back. We'll take a look at that in a second. Let's talk about wheels and tires. 20-inch at the front, 21 inches in the back, so stagger setup. These are the optional carbon ceramic brakes in gold, but you can spec the car with compound brakes with 3 different calipers in black, red, and blue. Again, no surprise there. Before we move to the back, let me show you the charging port right here. So it's a plug-in hybrid. You can charge with this European connector, or you get a US one for the US spec cars. No surprise there, of course. 7.4 kilowatts, that's the charging capability initially on the car. And it will take you from 0 to 100% in about 3 hours. Next year, there is an update to the charging capability, and you're going to get 11 kilowatts on that car, and that's going to lower the time by 1 hour, so 0 to 100% in 2 hours. We're going to talk about the engine in 1 second, so don't go anywhere. So let's move to the back, talk about some other details. So you can see it's got the same pseudo Hofmeister kink. I'm not going to call it Hofmeister kink, but what's cool on this one, you have this engraved M5 logo. Now, if we move to the rear, of course, things get a little bit more aggressive here. So that starts with the carbon fiber spoiler right there. As I said, that's optional because it's part of the carbon fiber package. But if you look on the bottom, you will see this massive, very aggressive, very bold diffuser. And of course, quad pipe, 100 millimeters in size. So that's great because they look really good. And they're kind of indented inside a little bit. So that's a very unique design because they usually stick out a little bit more. Let's talk about the taillights first. So same design as on the BMW 5 Series and i5, no changes there. The only difference, you have this shadow line in between the lamps. So that's the only small minor change that you will notice. Now let me open up the trunk and talk about the space in here. 466 liters compared to 530 in the F90. So you might be asking why. Well, this one comes with a rear axle steering, so the integral active steering, it's coming with the car for the first time on an M5. And then of course, because of that, you have all this packaging in the back and all this additional equipment that's needed, including cooling and the limited slip differential. You need that because if you want to track the car, it makes a huge difference. So that's the reason why you're getting less space. Before I pop up the hood, let me show this design because once again, you have these aggressive lines like on the i5 and the 5 Series, a crease running through the front, incorporating the rondelle right there, and of course these additional creases, they just give the car a very bold look if you see it from up front. But let's open up the hood, no carbon fiber. S68 plug-in hybrid, and in total they make 727 horsepower. You might be wondering how much power do I get from the 4.4 twin turbo engine. So 585 PS, I'm not sure with the HP, but that's the figure that I got today. And if you're using just the electric motor, 197 PS. Of course, you cannot combine the two because the power distribution is completely different in a hybrid system, but the overall power output, the maximum one, it's 727 PS, which probably translates to about 717, 718. The torque number is quite important, 1,000 Newton meters of torque. So as you can imagine, having that torque in the lower RPM band makes a huge difference. And I drove the car on the track and it's fantastic. It's fast, drives different than the F90, but you can watch that video and we can talk about that driving experience right there. Of course, because it's a heavier car, you need to have additional braces and struts and all of that. And there is one right here, and of course there is some underneath. You have two right there also to keep things tight, and of course a couple of braces right there. So you might be wondering about the range, right? It's a plug-in hybrid, so you can run on electric power only. 69 kilometers on a WLTP. We don't have yet the EPA figures. We're going to get those closer to market launch. So let me close this up and we're going to hop inside and take a look at the design. All right, so finally, here is the interior design of the new BMW M5 G90. So first things first, new steering wheel with a flat bottom. I kind of expected this, right? I've seen it in the i5 and in the new 5 Series, so it's clear that BMW will implement this in the M5 as well. I like it for the single reason because I'm quite tall. I'm 6'2", 1.9 meters tall, and it makes actually getting out of the car a lot easier. I can slide my feet a lot easier than if this steering was round. So I actually enjoy this steering, and I hope I'm going to see it in some other cars as well. Same beefy steering wheel, of course, with the M stitching. Really no surprise there as well. M1 and M2 buttons in this matte red. It's plastic, so it's not metal, so it feels a little bit different. Carbon fiber, shifters back there. Once again, same thing that you've seen in other cars. 12 o'clock red marker. It becomes a staple right now in the BMW M lineup or M Performance lineup. Center console has changed quite a bit, and you might notice immediately the lack of a shifter. I knew it's coming. I didn't want to believe it, but it's not there anymore, and you're getting this toggle shifter right now. Of course, if you care about still changing your own gears through this one, you can, but that shifter was just nice. It was nice to rest your hand on it. It was nice to just put it to the right, to the left, and just shift. But I guess that's the simplification, the minimalistic design that BMW wanted to achieve with this car and also with the 5 Series. So let's not dwell too much on that. M logo on this iDrive controller. I'm happy that I'm still getting an iDrive controller because there are not that many cars to get one, so this is cool. So thank you, BMW designers. And then of course you're getting these haptic buttons right here to change the, to the M hybrid mode and different driving modes. You can set up the system right there, the suspension, steering, and all of that, just like in other BMWs. Of course, volume button, no surprise there. Piano black. I have a love and hate relationship with this one because I love it when it's clean, but I absolutely hate it when it's not clean. And right now it's got smudges already. So I wish we would go back to something that doesn't show smudges because I always have to carry this towel with me to clean up things, but maybe I'm just nitpicking right there. You have the wireless charger right there. Of course, it's a nice position actually because you can actually see the phone and it's quite usable. So that's cool. Another thing that bothers me in recent BMWs, once again, it's the lack of physical buttons, and not a surprise anymore. I've been talking about this and people are tired of hearing this, but I still gotta say it. I love the physical buttons there. The digital ones are never gonna be as good as those, right? It's so easy to just control them right there. You're watching the road, you're driving, you don't have to worry about, pushing around here and changing things. But of course, they want to simplify this entire area and they're gone. You are getting this new interaction bar, which is not only on the dashboard and on the doors, which is cool. I actually like it. It's functional because you can do this. So you can get alerts through this. When you open the door, there is a car coming. You might hit the door, you get an alert. If you get a phone call, you get the same thing. So functional, looks cool, looks premium. And you can change the colors, of course. Really no surprise there. I'm not going to go through the whole menu because we don't have too much time here. Curved display, once again, your standard BMW curved display today. It's going to go away in future generation like Neue Class. It's going to be this weird shape, but I like that a little bit better than this one. iDrive 8.5, and the way that I know that is by doing this. I go to the climate menu, I turn this off, and you have this digital interpretation of the former analog controls. So at least you're getting this, so that's cool. Of course, on top of this, you're getting the M software stack, which is different than the base BMW products. So you have this M graphics right behind the steering wheel in there as well. There is also an M welcome sequence that you can see. Hopefully we can shoot some B-roll to show that, but it's quite cool. And you have this welcome M logo on the bottom as well. So a nice touch by BMW. Of course, leather on the dashboard, so that's nice. There's a lot of plastic still around, but we've seen that in recent BMW products. Red and black combination on these new seats. And speaking of the seats, brand new seat design. They look cool. They're not carbon bucket seats. BMW doesn't plan on offering them in the base M5s. We'll see if there is an M5 CS in the future. Those usually come with the bucket seats, but we'll see how that goes. You can also spec this one in orange and black, and there is also a combination, I believe, Silverstone and blue or something like that. So 3 different options that you can get inside the car. But the most exciting part is really the seat design. Looks quite cool. I was on the track driving the car and it just feels great. Carbon fiber trim, it's an option in the car. Something that you expect from BMW. So if you want this carbon fiber, you got to pay for it. So that's the bottom line there. Standard though are the Bowers & Wilkins speakers, so that's awesome because they sound amazing. I have them in the iX, fantastic. I got 30 speakers there, but I only have 19 here. More than enough, even if you're an audiophile. I promise you, they probably sound fantastic. We're not going to play music today. M5 logo, of course, on the headrest, something that you expect to see, so really no surprise there. Your typical, space in here, and of course, I'm assuming they're cool cup holders probably, and of course you have all these USB-C ports at the front, in the back as well. As you can see, it's all Alcantara here. This one has got the optional carbon fiber roof, but you can spec the car with a sunroof. It's not retractable, but at least you can push this back and you get some light coming in. So if you're not looking for the racy look, then you can get that more like a business sedan type of sunroof in the car. So that's pretty much all the changes here. Of course, you got all these haptic buttons on the side. You can control the seat memory. You have the open and close doors, and then of course you got the seat controls still on the left side. Nice touch right there, BMW. All right, so let's talk space first. And you can see plenty of legroom. Once again, you have this really cool design that you've seen in other BMWs where you have these scoops in the back seat, so that allows you to push your knees forward if you have to. If you're taller than me, then that will be quite helpful. But as you can see, plenty of room. Of course, you have this really nice scoop in the door too, so you can rest your arm. So plenty of side room, elbow room, as whatever you want to call it. Of course, it's seating 3 people here, so you can have an additional 3rd person. Not ideal maybe for very long distances, but if somebody on the smaller side or a child, you can absolutely ride it with 3 people as a family. I absolutely love this color combination, red and black. It goes really well with the frozen deep gray on the outside. And of course, you can see that the bench is angled a little bit. And the reason for that, to give you some additional headroom. So because you have the carbon fiber roof, of course, you always trading maybe a little bit of headroom, but still plenty. You got about 5 centimeters here. You can option the car with the panoramic roof, the sunroof, however you want to call it. And I think maybe just a little bit more room, but honestly, you don't need more than this. Nice scoop in here, plenty of headroom. As you can see, I can lay back and there is enough. More piano black, more fingerprints. Okay, that's fine. Getting this nice M logo right there. USB-C ports on both sides. These plastic sounds like plastic, but let's move on. Of course, you got the Bowers & Wilkins in the back as well. Illuminated speakers, looks cool, very premium. So nice job, BMW, right there. Alcantara, of course, in the back when you spec this car with the carbon fiber roof, but I think you're getting Alcantara as well when you do the other option. Of course, you can retract it, so that's the biggest difference. So overall, this is the rear seating position in the BMW M5. No surprises, really kind of similar to what you're getting in the regular 5 Series or the i5. So with that being said, let's hop outside and talk about pricing and a few other details, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right, so this was the BMW M5, a quick overview of the M5 sedan. G90, of course, there is a G99 M5 Touring. Both are coming to the US. Naturally, you might be asking about pricing. So the M5 sedan will sell in the US for $119,500 without the destination fee and taxes and all of that. And in Europe, it's priced 144,000 euros, and that includes VAT or the local tax. Production starts in July, and the market launch it's in November. Of course, there's always this delay with shipping and production and all of that. So it's either we're going to see them in December or probably just early 2025 when we're going to see them in the US on the road. I drove the car already, so you can watch the next video, and we're going to see the driving experience of a prototype M5 on the track. You can learn more about how it drives, about the drivetrain, and all of that. So with that being said, Thanks for watching. We'll have more videos coming up in the future with the M5 sedan. There'll be a bunch of world premieres, one in Goodwood. It's going to be another one at Pebble Beach. And then we're going to drive the car also in the fall, and we can talk more about the hybrid modes and everything else. So we'll get into a lot more details. So as always, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.